Josh Green here for Tungsten Tales. Delighted today to be joined all the way from Bahrain, the JDC chairman, Mr. Steve Brown. How are we doing, Steve? Looks lovely out there.
I'm great, Josh. Yeah, it's fantastic here. It's a beautiful day.
Well, I can tell you it's certainly not the same back here in sunny the UK. Look out there in Bahrain. Just tell me what's going on. Plenty of conversations around the JDC.
Yeah, well, we only landed last night, so but today I'm rammed with interviews and meetings today. But yeah, it's great as always. There's a real vested interest, I think, certainly in the Middle East now. There's more and more countries involved, and this is our first stop I'm off to Saudi briefly, and then on to Dubai later this week. So plenty of interest out here, mate. And Bahrain, as expected, is kicking on. Since we've been here just over a year now, so plenty of visits, thousands and thousands of kids being introduced to the sport of darts. And now so we're kind of here to sort of start discussing the next steps, the next layer to this project.
I was going to say the adult scene is something that's maybe built quite slowly, but if you're going to be building a dart scene out in Bahrain and Saudi and Dubai, where you're going to be going out to, the way to do it is to start with the kids, isn't it? I mean, they're the ones that are going to be the next generation that's going to be coming through in these countries.
But it just makes sense. Some organisations around the world still get it wrong and try and go top heavy, but you got to build an ecosystem, and the adults don't feed the future children, do they? Children are the future adults. So yeah, no, we got. I think you got to start at the beginning, and the way they're doing it here as well, which I think some pretty smart is because the dart system in some countries still associated as a bar sport and not necessarily a serious sport. So what way we're doing it here is through education, through schools first. So the kids are going to go home and tell their parents that we played darts today, but it was a great maths lesson. So again, it's not about necessarily introducing them to the sport. It's about doing it in an educational way first, gaining the respect of the sport, and sort of educating the parents more so than the kids to start with.
What's the sort of the darts culture like over there? How does it compare to the UK? I'm sure it's a very different job for you.
It is, but there is an underlying. There is a darts community here. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of expats as well. But if you go in the clubs, there's a mix between Bahrainis and expats, and they all play in the same league, same competitions. I'd say it's pretty even in terms of the talent field. But again, I think that it works hand in hand. The expats here, sort of with the traditional way of playing darts and sort of teaching the Bahrainis the nuances, the etiquette. Sorry, so it's working really well, but again, that's at the adult level. So we've done a great job in introducing the sports to thousands of kids. But essentially, we need is the next layer now, and we need them competing in the JDC World Cup and World Championships in 2027.
I know Mongolia is a country that you've had huge success with over the past couple of years. You've got young Turgel who's been competing in the JDC Power League. He's been on the advanced tour as well, and he's one of the top talents, one of the top junior talents in the world now. And that's a country that's seen huge strides over the last couple of years. Just talk to me about that.
Yeah, obviously, well, Mongolia first comes on my radar probably 3-4 years ago when he first turned up to Gibraltar, and they turned up a week early when they were to stay. So they sort of announced themselves pretty abruptly. But again, since then they've been a breath of fresh air, and every event they turn up to, they put smiles on people's faces. But they play darts in the right manner, and we didn't realise that there was such a underbelly, or darts is a massive thing in Mongolia. It's a huge sport, and we're just getting to realise that. And behind Turgel, there's lots, especially young girls in Mongolia. There's a wealth of talent coming through.
And I mean, Turgel's throw is absolutely silky smooth, isn't it? If you could build a throw, it would look like his, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. No, in terms of his technique, he's absolutely superb, and his temperament, which is equally as important in my eyes, so especially with kids. And the higher you go up, and the standard of these kids now, they'll notice little things in your game, and they'll wait for weaknesses. And I did as a pro. You sort of, I'll use an example. Paul Nicholson, for example. Whenever I put Paul under pressure, he got a red patch on the back of his neck used to come up. So but the kids, the higher level you play at, you notice little things like that, and having a good temperament like Turgel has, really puts him in good stead, and makes him hard to read.
Talk to me about the World Championship last year, rewinding a few months back to Gibraltar. Another massive tournament for yourself. You've been in Gibraltar a number of years. How much have you seen that week, as it is now, is pretty much a week of darts? How much have you seen that grown over the past few years?
Yeah, I think we started our first year there. We start with 16 teams. I think we've more than doubled that now, up to last year. It's just the new countries that come on board and embrace what we're doing. And off the back of and start academies, and obviously participation levels have gone through the roof. And we mentioned, when we went there to Gibraltar, we wanted to make Gibraltar the mecca for junior darts, and every junior dart player in the world want to go there. As a bit of a pilgrimage, and that's happened. Gibraltar now is synonymous with junior darts. We're really proud to be associated with it, and the event itself. And you couldn't wish to have it in a better place. It's so safe. I know it's a bit difficult to get to, if you're not from the UK, but again, I think it's worth it when you get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got to see an amazing final. Ali Pali, Mitchell Laurie coming out on top against Kaya Basil. They are two top talents that have been given a lot to the JDC system over the last year or so. And I think you can already see the strides they've made within the JDC and the other youth systems,
Yeah.
sort of setting themselves up to become future professionals.
Yeah, and particularly the fact they both come from the JDC Academy system, celebrates its 15 years this year.
Wow.
And the fact they both still compete on that system, and is a great, was a great marker for your abilities, a great practice routine. And the fact that those two kids that could play on grace any stage in the world if they want to, still attend academies, and JDC academies at that, offering the best opportunities in the world and the opportunity to play on stages like that. And just goes to show that every journey starts with the first step, and that's the academy structure. And then you just got to look at those two for inspiration. What a great job they're doing.
I know there's been a lot of players before them that have come through the academy system, obviously, and now some as professionals on the PDC Pro Tour. But what do you think that does for a kid that walks into a JDC academy on their first day, and they've got those players that have been through that process and they've made it to maybe where they want to be in a few years' time?
Yeah, I mean, your first time anywhere, going to the gym, going to start in any new club or school or sport is very intimidating, isn't it? And what we learned quickly and what we've been great at over the years is giving the kids something to aim for in their first session. So the JDC routines certainly do that. So you haven't got to be a black grade in the first season, but you understand there's a journey to go on. That's what the color grades are there for, to signify that this is a process. You got to believe in the process. So I think that really helps them and keeps them focused. And again, it's not about beating the next guy. It's about self-development, the JDC routines, and I think that's where a lot of people benefit from. King Barry in the past as well. He come for the JD, he come onto our radar via the academy structure. There's been plenty of them, but again, it's a great place to start and a very friendly and safe environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw Mitchell and Kaya battling it out last week at the Winmau World Masters, the JDC Winmau World Masters over in Milton Keynes. But a lot came before that down at Bradmore Farm. Hundreds and hundreds of players that all came through the academy system to be there. That's, I'm sure, one of your biggest tournaments to date, I would imagine. Talk to me
Yeah.
about how that came to fruition.
Well, obviously, it was an inaugural year of the Junior World Masters at Winmau, backed by Winmau. Yeah, I mean, I think it will end up being the biggest junior event on the calendar in terms of participation or finalists. Last year, it was exclusive to Winmau Academies only, being a Winmau event, which we worked really hard with Winmau on that. And we're pleased to announce that next year, any JDC Academy member, no matter who they're backed by, any manufacturer, will get opportunities and spots at Winmau World Master Finals. So again, we work really hard with our partners, and we've been working really, really hard over the last 6 months to level the playing field and working with the likes of the EDO and the WDF, and giving every kid that plays pro darts an equal opportunity. And I'm glad to say now that the JDC is the academy system is open for business to absolutely anybody.
That's huge for the kids, isn't it? Because it means that they've got a tournament that's going to be not a million miles away. They're not going to have to hop on a plane to get there. And they could be playing in a major event with a chance to play on a PDC major stage if they get through those early rounds.
That's the whole point, sort of 15 years ago when we designed the academy structure. That we understand that not every kid comes from a wealthy background, and so what we want to do is create off the back of the academy structure that we have. It gives us the ability, or kids the ability, to go to their local academy, and if they're good enough, they can represent their country, play in the World Cup, play in the World Championships just by attending a local academy. So for us, that's always been very, very important to us. And the less the barrier to entry, the better.
You talk about the new relationship with the WDF and England Darts. Where has that come from for you guys? Because that's a really strong and really fruitful thing for the junior players coming through, that they've got those options and they can be playing week in, week out now, can't they?
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, I can only speak from my side. I think after meeting with the EDO guys and Paul especially, that we realised, it's natural that you want the best outcomes for your organisations at all times. And obviously, we were sort of new kids on the block in for a few years, and probably seen as the bad guys in their eyes. But we never really focused on what they were doing. We were just on our own path, doing our own thing. And just I think social media can get in the way sometimes and misperceptions. And then when we actually got in a room together, we realised that we had a lot more in common than we didn't. And basically, that's the common goal, is that we want to lead this space in a better place than we found it, and the no kid should be punished or have to make decisions, or parents feel bad about sending their kids to one event and not the other. So the fact that they're working with us now, they're going to share a venue with us at Hangar 61. We're going to sponsor their players to travel abroad and attend WDF events. I think signifies a great start, or a new future for junior darts.
Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. And as far as 2026 goes, what have you got on the calendar after you're away from Bahrain, Saudi, and Dubai?
Oh, such a busy year coming up. I think we're off to Virginia Beach soon. There's another WDF event over there. We've got a lot going on in North America. Some big announcements coming over there. We're working in India, China. So much going on at the moment internationally. Darren's working behind off, behind the scenes with his international relations. Our team's growing all the time. We've got a huge team now. A lot more efficient than we used to be, and we're getting around there. I know, and also, we've got, it's kind of I suppose, a duty of care or responsibility, however you want to put it. But we kind of feel like we're the custodians of junior darts, and we're absolutely hell bent on doing a good job.
It seems like you're just always discovering these new territories, these new sort of areas of talent. You go over to Bahrain and you say there's so many young players coming through. You talk about Mongolia with particularly the young girls talent coming through there. There's always new spaces to explore, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, we sometimes I got pinched by goodness, I got pinched myself, or I am sometimes, but I actually think I think it's just the tip of the iceberg, and there's so much more to come from the JDC, but darts in general. But I think there's so more people and untapped markets out there that again, like this place, there is an underbelly. There are people playing darts, but we just haven't heard about it yet.
Where's going to be the next territory to have a JDC world champion that hasn't had one yet? You think then?
Possibly Asia, I'd say. I think if Turgal can go in, fulfill his potential, I think he's got 2 years left with us. And again, that's something I'm really keen on as well. When don't run off and play adult events when you're still a kid. You never be a kid again. You're only a kid once. Dominate at the junior level before you're running off to. You'll be an adult for the rest of your life. Just stay around and win as many titles as you can in the junior game first.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you enjoy the rest of your time out there, Steve. I know it'll be
It's
a
hard
busy
work,
time for you.
Josh. It's very hard work. I got to say.
Very good, mate. Really appreciate your time today, and yeah, catch up soon.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks a lot.